Hello, I'm Emma of Granola Gear, and I'm so excited to be chatting with you again today about what I've been knitting on lately. Still on a summer kick, but if you see my last video, you know all I can think about lately is fall. So we're making our way there. It is very hot today. It will be very hot for the next couple days, but I'm kind of getting summer knitted out. I don't know about you, but I came in really strong this year, gotten a lot of stuff done, and now I'm kind of at the end of my rope with it. I'm ready to get onto the woolly stuff. I'm ready to make some sweaters. I need to organize my sweaters because they're kind of a little chaotic right now in bins away for the summertime, but I'm excited to get back into it. I am wearing today something that I finished in my last video, and that is the twist loop top by Other Loops. It's knit in Knitting for Olive cotton merino in the color Japanese anemone. Like I mentioned in my last video, I was struggling to get this wide enough because I didn't block it really aggressively the first time because I didn't want to like pull the ribbing or the cables like way far out and make it look not good. So I ended up, I'll maybe add the photo that I took because it's kind of funny, but I blocked it a second time. And this time I pinned this part out, this chest part, way further. Like just the chest part. The rest of it I just kind of let hang naturally how I wanted to. I didn't want to pull that super far and then make it like shrink up and be not as long. But I'm much happier with the fit now. Can wear a much more normal bra. Before I was really struggling to like get it to work at all. It was just like super close in the front. It maybe made it a little more holy, but honestly, I think the color is bright enough and it's the nice, right type of yarn that doesn't really bother. Like I can't really see anything if I'm just wearing a tan bra. I wouldn't wear like a black or a super dark color, but it's fine. The cotton merino is not bad for the summertime, I will say, because it's a 20% or 30%. I'm not sure which merino, and the rest of it's cotton. Like today it's super hot, so I'm kind of sweaty, like mostly just up here. It's one of those days where like you're gonna be sweaty in anything, but you'd probably pick like either a small tank top or a breezy t-shirt to wear. So maybe this isn't it for today, but I'll at least wear it for the video because it's very cute. But yeah, that is what I am wearing currently, and it has been reblocked. My one finished object this week is very exciting, and that's the Barbroe blouse by Pernille Larsen, or Knitting for Olive, in Knitting for Olive pure silk in the color Ballerina. This one, I like how it turned. It's so pretty. It's gorgeous. Like I love this color. I love this stitch pattern. I'm convinced to knit the Barbroe blouse, I think. Modifications for this I did of chart C, which is like the main chart for the body. I did 4 less repeats. I think, yeah, you're supposed to do 14. I did 10. I knew this was going to grow. Looking at other project pages, it looked like consistently if people knit it all the way, it was quite long, and they felt like it was quite long, so it was pretty common to shorten it. 4 was maybe a lot, but it is what it is. It'll probably stretch with time. And I did, on the back strap portion, I did 2 extra repeats of the pattern to make the straps longer. That was more than even they suggested if you wanted the straps to be longer, because I was comparing this against my favorite like scoop neck tank top, which is what I wanted this to be. And even with the 2 extra repeats, this was the straps, like the distance between the neckline to the top of the straps was still way shorter. So even if this stretches quite a bit, I'm fine with it. It's still like higher than I kind of thought it would be. I mean, I guess maybe because looking at the photo, like the example photos of the pattern, it's just on a hanger, it's not on a person. So to me, it looks very scoop necky. And then you look at the project pages and it is like quite high on everyone, which for me, as a younger person in the summertime, I want a pretty scoopy neck. Like I don't want it down here, but I want it like, I want air on my chest. I guess is what I'm saying. So that was my goal there. Because it's Kitchener stitch, there is this gap that doesn't have the eyelets in it, which doesn't look great. And I thought about like, oh, what am I going to do if that's really obvious? But it's high enough up on my shoulders that you can't really see it. if these straps stretch, then I will go back and undo it and make them shorter because that wouldn't be that difficult. I do have to say that the I cord situation with this is really like dumb. It's stupid. I didn't I don't know why on earth you would do the continuous I cord. I did it because I didn't really know what I was getting into it. I was getting into it. I was just like, oh yeah, sure. Because it was to pattern. I just usually knit to pattern. And it was so nonsensical. You end up with an I cord joined together in like 4 different places for just this whole neckline versus like being joined in one singular place. So it looks okay blocking, but like I could probably tell you exactly where I joined everything. Like I can see it, which is not my favorite. Also, I don't really understand why there isn't I cord on the armhole to pattern. I may add that, which the thing is, so I just don't, the continuity doesn't make sense to me. So you've got I cord on the edge here, so this doesn't stretch and it's pretty stiff. But then over here, you just have like a bit of stockinette on the edge that rolls in and kind of looks I-cordy for a piece like this, which is fine, but then this does stretch. I just don't understand why you wouldn't do I-cord on both or I-cord on neither. It just doesn't really totally make sense to me. Like as you can see here, if I hold it up, like just hold it loosely with my thumbs, the backside is pulling up a lot. I mean, I know when I'm wearing it, it doesn't look like that, but I feel like that will wear oddly. So that's just strange to me. And it also means you have kind of an unfinished underarm here. Not the end of the world. I don't know. But then I feel like if I added it, it would make it way tighter, which I guess you could argue was their thought process. But if it was planned from the beginning to have the I cord on the edge, it wouldn't really matter. So I don't know. I just thought it was a kind of strange setup. Also, I I knit the size small. It told me I have 3 balls of the pure silk. So I have 3 balls of the pure silk, and I used significantly less than 2 full balls. So I have like a ball and a half left. And I know I shortened it quite a bit, but honestly, even if I had done it entirely to pattern, and I did extra on the straps too, which isn't a significant amount, but it's still something. I think if I had even done it to pattern, I probably wouldn't have used 3. I don't think my gauge was super tight or anything, but this is why I have an issue with patterns that just list like number of balls of yarn for a specific yarn, because it's just not always going to like if you look at a pattern and you're already planning to shorten it, and if the designer lists 3 balls, but really they know based on their experience that you only need 2.2 balls of this yarn, but I don't know that. But if I'm already planning to shorten it, I don't know that I really only need 2.2 balls to make it full length. So if I want to make it shorter, I probably only need 2. I don't know. I just feel like yardage and meterage, or at least like a better idea of like grams of yarn, makes more sense than that. It's kind of silly to me. So now I have extra of this yarn, a significant amount, but not enough to really make another thing. Which for me is frustrating because I try to buy like what I need, especially with this. This was a splurge purchase, so I spent significantly more money than I needed to. I mean, I definitely had a decent amount left of the last ball of this, but at least I broke into the 3rd ball. It wasn't like it was entirely untouched. So that was like, okay, I used it, I needed it. It wouldn't have been the same length without it. So that's fine. But that's just how I feel about that. So maybe I'll try and do something with those 2. And once I knit my Cumulus tee in the other pure silk that I have, maybe I'll use all 3 of those together. I was just personally kind of frustrated because for me it was like a splurgy purchase, and I would have bought less if I had realized that I would need a lot less. Yeah, so I have one entirely unbroken into ball, but I'm happy with the end result. It is very pretty. I like this color a lot. It's definitely super holy, which I knew. It's a little more than maybe I expected, but maybe I should have knit a larger size. I just didn't want a larger size. Like I wanted it to be fitted. I just didn't really, I don't know. I guess maybe most of their photos are just of things hanging on a hanger, and they should probably not do that. They should probably put it on a person that's representative of the like fits the design so you have a better visual of what it's supposed to look like. So that's my beef with this pattern. That's all. But I like it. I don't think you shouldn't try it. It's just, you know, that's all I have to say. That's all I had to say. So on to WIPs. I have like 2 things that I'm actively working on. The first I've been working on for a while. Since I finished the Barbroe blouse, I got to really invest some time in this. Let me find the front and back. And that's the Friday tee by Petite Knit. It's got strings all over it because it has the needles on it. And I split for the body and knit both the sleeves. Still liking how this is coming along. It's very cute. I like the fabric. It's nice and drapey. Let's see if I can get, see, sleeve's really nice. It's a very pretty broken rib. I'm a little tired of it, but I want to get my 3mm needles off of it. So I'm cranking as much as I can. At least the stripes make it a little more popcorny. I'm more excited. The dropped saffron in the cobalt is easier to use than this unraveled sweater yarn. So I'm usually like cranking through these, trying to get to the next blue rose. But yeah, the jog is like on the raglan. So it's kind of interesting because it's not like obvious, but when I was doing the raglan, that was also like there was an increase as I was changing color, so I couldn't really do like jogless stripes or anything. And now I guess I'm just accepting it. Like it doesn't look like too much of a jog. I mean, there's hardly any body. There's like 2 stripes of the body. Yeah, 2 or 3 stripes of the body. So you can't really tell. I don't know. I guess there's enough texture that you probably can't tell that there's a little bit of the jog there. It's kind of in the, it'll be under their arm anyways, so it is what it is. But that's how that's going, slow but steady. And then the next pattern is bigger than it was before, and before I hadn't even decided if this was the yarn I was going to use, and that is the Maria from the Memory Lane book that's coming out by, I said her name wrong last time because I didn't have it written down, but I think it's Quintanilla. I missed one of the I's, Claudia Quintanilla. I forgot to say her first name this time. I missed one of the I's when I was saying it last time. So this is the Maria. It's going to have color work on the bottom band and on the edge of the sleeves and beads if I get to that. In the sample, it's knit with a much softer mohair yarn, but this is what I have that matches gauge, and I think the rusticness of it is different than the sample, but I still think I personally will probably like it better that way and wear it more often. I'm more of a woolly person, but I feel like the fabric is true to what that fabric seems to be. It's not too heavy like a rustic yarn could be. And this is an unraveled sweater yarn, and I'm going to do the color work with a maroon unraveled sweater yarn that I have as well. So yeah, it started with the back and then I did the front, and now I'm joined for the body because it's more fitted, so there's smaller sleeve holes than like a big oversized sweater. There's also waist shaping with this that I'm getting close to. The other thing was I've never actually done wrap and turn short rows. So I did do those on the back section, but then when I got to the front, I honestly switched to German short rows. That's what I've done the most of. And for me, after trying wrap and turns, I think it's just easiest. I don't know if wrap and turns are the older technique, or I don't actually know what the like technical difference would be. But I think the German short rows the same probably, and it works for me. When I was adding on these extra stitches as I work down, because you cast on stitches so you can increase more than just doing a regular increase, I like did it one way on one side over here because it was the cable cast on, and I thought I remembered how to do it, but I guess I didn't. So I was like doing it weird, so it's not as smooth here, but then over here I remembered, and then it's like totally smooth. I mean, look at the difference. To me, that looks really smooth, and that one looks really bumpy. But I mean, I'll have a neckline on that, so it won't really matter. But I was kind of like, darn it, I'm not gonna go all the way back and redo it, but I should have realized. So that's how that is going. I believe the pre-order for the Memory Lane book is August 13th. I'll put it on the screen if I'm wrong, but I believe it's August 13th for the pre-order. So that is exciting. And those are my like big WIPs at the moment. I actually don't have a lot going on. I need to cast on something else, or I'm considering picking up some of my kind of paused WIPs. I have 1, 2, 3, which I kind of been doing lingering WIPs, but these were paused because they are more wintertime. But one of them needs my 3mm needles, which is on the Friday tee, and I think the other one actually might too. So they might just stay on hold, which that was sort of my thought process. But I still have this cone that I picked up at Goodwill a while ago that's enough for a sweater. And so I just started swatching for the April cardigan, which is what I originally said I had been considering, because this is a DK weight and it'll be enough for that cardigan. And I think I just want something nice and simple with this. And I already own the pattern. Yeah, I don't usually double knit things. Not that I don't want to. I do really want to. I just get excited by other things. But I was looking at DK patterns, and that was kind of what I felt good about knitting. Like I think I could do another April cardigan. Yeah, but it's looking like it's going to be to gauge, and that should be fine. And this is the Jaeger spun mainline 3/8 in the color daffodil that I thrifted. So that's pretty sick. But yeah, that's what I've been working on, and I have no acquisitions. The Goodwill is still closed for renovation. Last I checked, I need to check again soon because I think it was supposed to be done at the end of July, but you know how these things go. They always take longer than they're going to say. But that's actually all the knitting I have for you today. And I haven't finished a book recently because I've been really busy. So it's a short episode today, I think. But thank you so much for joining me. Let me know what you've been working on. Give this a like if you enjoyed it, and a subscribe would really be appreciated as well. And I hope you have a great day and happy knitting.